We have been following the dramatic developments along the U.S.-Mexico border where the violence is getting out of control, to say the least. Listen to this. Just today, suspected drug gangs dumped 5 severed human heads on the side of a road in western Mexico as the violence there is continuing to spiral downward. And this, as U.S. lawmakers took up the issue today in the House, claiming government agencies are not serious enough about the problem and grilling members of Customs and Border Patrol about the flow of guns into Mexico. And joining us live from London is Michael Reed, America's editor for The Economist. And the cover story this week is about ending the war on drugs. Michael, thanks for joining us. It's estimated 90% of the weapons used by the Mexican cartels come from the United States. Who should be in control of this and what should be done?
Well, that's correct. That's what the Mexican government believes anyway. I think that the situation in Mexico shows just how crazy the whole drug situation has become. I mean, organized crime in Colombia, in Mexico, around the world has grown enormously on the back of the drug industry. And what we've argued in the latest edition of The Economist is that this shows the way in which the prohibition of drugs just doesn't work. And we call for drugs to be legalized, regulated and taxed, and for the drug question to be treated as what it always should have been treated as, which is a public health issue.
And you bring this issue up for the 2 main reasons for arguing that prohibition should be scrapped, but you also bring up what the counter argument often is, and that is the worry of addiction.
Yeah, I mean, I think the central problem of drugs is indeed addiction, and public policy efforts should be concentrated on preventing and treating drug addiction. And because all the evidence is that focusing on trying to stop supply just doesn't work, because as long as drugs are illegal, the rewards for getting them to the consumer are so high that the drug industry will always adapt to efforts to repress it.
But people wonder, Michael, then how do you essentially turn and go in reverse in this? I mean, some of the numbers out of Mexico, 800 law enforcement officers killed, 6,000 people last year killed in this drug war. They control meth, cocaine, marijuana, and in your article you say the solution is a messy one, but a century of manifest failure argues for trying it. How do you start to try to legalize it at this point?
Well, it can only be an international effort. I mean, as long as drugs remain illegal, then, you know, governments such as Mexico's have no alternative but to engage in this costly fight against organized crime. And I think, you know, they deserve support from the United States and from the rest of the world. But the point is that there is an international regime under the UN which prohibits drug use and the drug industry. It makes drugs illegal. There's a meeting this week in Vienna of ministers from around the world to set international drug policy for the next decade. And we're arguing they should take the opportunity to look at the facts, to think clearly, and to recognize that 100 years of drug prohibition have not succeeded in eliminating drug use and have generated huge costs in terms of unprecedented organized crime, as well as meaning that the circumstances in which people take drugs are surrounded by criminality.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. It's a fascinating debate, and a lot of people certainly agree with you and have been emailing me. You can check out the article, How to Stop the Drug Wars. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much indeed.